Buddy, thanks for coming back. I have a new hat. That hat, when I came home one day, was on my coffee table. That is not my hat. That hat won't fit my head. It is the 7, I think. I take a 7 1/4 or 7 1/2. But anyway, I put it up there just as a demonstration about how people are monitored. And I want to talk about a guy. First, I'm going to end up talking about Angela Merkel, the president of Germany, who's having a great deal of difficulty right now. But I'm just going to get back to a man named Gerald Bull. Gerald Bull is a Canadian who was a munitions expert, and he built the world's largest and most powerful gun. Probably not many people are aware of this, but he was being monitored by agencies because he was working for the Iraq government at that time. They financed him to build this experimental gun. So he built it. It was so powerful, they had to dig a big hole into the ground to put the butt into the gun, and these huge tubes came out of the ground and were pointing. It was so powerful it could launch a satellite. And in fact, that was his aim. Gerald Bull wanted to launch satellites from the country called Iraq. But they had a leader there named Saddam Hussein. And Saddam Hussein thought that gun would be really nice if he could point it at Jerusalem. And there was some suspicion that's actually what Saddam Hussein wanted to do with Gerald Bull's gun. But Gerald Bull lived in a hotel, I think the city is Beirut where he lived. And when he went to work in the morning, experimenting with his gun and overseeing really the construction of it, he's fired it several times and it registered as earthquakes. It was so powerful. It showed up on seismographs. So when he came home, he noticed that when he opened the door to his hotel room, there's water glasses, and pictures and stuff like that. When he had left in the morning, everything was changed. The water glasses were not where he had left them. They were lined up on the windowsill or something like that, and he's looking at it like, well, somebody's been here. But all of his effects are still there. They did not steal anything from him. And this went on for several days, and he brought it up with one of his co-workers. Gerald Bull, as I said, is a Canadian, but he had co-workers from England with him. And I would give you the name of the company they worked for, except they may come hunting me. I don't like it when people hunt me, which I'm being hunted anyway. Compliments of this hat that was left behind. So I know I'm being monitored. Lots of people are. So Gerald Bull is dead. Gerald Bull didn't take the hint that he is being watched and that he should stop his gun development in Iraq. So one day on his way home, when he put the key into the door, a man pulled up behind him, shot him twice behind the right ear. Small caliber weapon, I believe it's .22 caliber. Didn't make very much noise. He fell. Blood going everywhere, of course. And that was the end of his life. So that's what happens if you don't take the warning. It makes me worry about this hat. Obviously, this building is not difficult to break into, although we do have video security. I have not gone to the manager about it because, I'm wondering what this warning is about. I'll find out later, I'm sure. I want to talk about Angela Merkel, though. Fascism in Canada has grown to such an extent, it's totally out of control here. We have only one person that runs the country now. We don't have a government. This one person directs everybody to do whatever one person wants to do. That, of course, is Justin Trudeau. However, let's go to Angela Merkel, Justin Trudeau is a friend of Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel has, it looks like she's going to fire her top spy, domestic spy. Now that was interesting, just like that hat is. Why do you have a domestic spy? Angela Merkel has this top guy. I've just been reading about him on the internet. I should remember his name, but I've forgotten it just briefly. You can go look it up. It's very hot because he's trying to defend himself to allegations made against him by Angela Merkel. Because what happened in Germany is that someone has released a video showing German nationals chasing immigrants down the street and harassing them. Now, this domestic spy, this man who's been the top spy for 6 years in Germany, said, That's not a genuine film. Basically, he called it fake news. In his opinion, it was made by Russia. And Russia planted the film. And Angela Merkel likes it because she's having a lot of trouble with her domestics. Domestics, that's a nice way to put it, isn't it? Her domestics who are not following her agenda to welcome all of the Syrian and North African immigrants who, on New Year's Eve, raped and sexually assaulted 1,000 German women. Angela Merkel told the police do not lay any charges about these sexual assaults. It is just a cultural misunderstanding. Now, of course, people are dying in the streets from stabbings. And Angela Merkel told the police, do not lay any charges. It's just a cultural misunderstanding. So why would Russia, if they did, and this is the top spy in Germany speaking, he thinks it's Russian. Why would Russia plant that? Now, Angela Merkel has made a tremendous deal with Russia, Putin, let's say. Putin in Canada, it's hard for me to say Putin because we have this dish here that's from Quebec, the province of Quebec. It's called poutine, and it sounds too much like Putin. But poutine is French fries, smothered with gravy, and they put chunks of cheese curd on it. And the gravy is supposed to be made, just if anybody wants to know, from a roasted chicken. It's not beef gravy, it's chicken gravy. It's caught on rather fantastically in Canada, but the word poutine means great big mess. And I have a feeling Putin is a great big mess. So here he is helping Angela Merkel keep all those immigrants in who are destabilizing the country, whether or not she wants to admit it or anybody in her government. It's being destabilized, and now there's opposition parties coming from everywhere to try to protect the domestics from the abuses. Whether or not they're successful, we don't know yet. Anyway, I follow it with great interest. And in the United States, what have we got? A guy named Manafort, who used to be President Trump's campaign manager. He's made a plea bargain with the Department of Justice. Turns out this man had something to do with Russia's takeover of Crimea in the Ukraine. And he has admitted to such things, and he's going to spill the beans on all kinds of things now. But look how deep he was into the United States political system, and he's not the only one. Hillary Clinton has got a very big problem with all of this uranium that was sold to her Russian friends, and it was weapons-grade uranium, American-made. Why did she do that? You know, when you start to dig, the smell is getting higher and higher and higher, isn't it though? It's fantastic. And I had to do this one. It's going to be a short one. It has to be a short one because I want to do one right after this on a different topic. But, you know, I watch the QAnons a little bit. I don't follow it all that faithfully, just because in Canada, you know, I don't know as much about the American political system and how it works as I do about the Canadian one because, well, obviously, I live in Canada. But I am an ardent observer. I'm interested in, we're all being manipulated, we're all being monitored. You know, Facebook monitors us, Google monitors us. The government of Canada, they spend more money monitoring Canadians than they do. We have a group here called the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, CSIS. I have gone head to head with them several times. They haven't charged me yet with anything, but they don't know what to charge anybody with anyway. To my knowledge, in their time of their creation, which I think goes back to Pierre Elliott Trudeau, who created our Constitution, which is an invalid Constitution, by the way, but we still have it. The reason it's invalid, all provinces of Canada, it's like saying the states of the United States, had to sign it unanimously that it would become the law of this country. One province, Quebec, would not sign it because they could see that it leads to fascism, which it did, and it does. So this is what's happened to us in Canada, and I'm curious what's going to happen in the United States. I know there's a lot of fake news, a lot of it. And we have in Canada only one broadcaster, and it is government financed, and it is being manipulated to make the people believe fake news, fake reports, and definitely fake opinions. Peter Mansbridge, who used to be the top guy, he's retired now, He used to say this all the time. I love the way he did it. Put his finger on his lip. When he's interviewing somebody, political guy, he would say, give us a sense, if you will, of what all of this means. It's like the people of Canada are so goddamn stupid they can't work it out themselves, so the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is going to tell you what you should think about that. Because obviously, you didn't go to university, you didn't get an education. Not only that, I shouldn't say that you have to have these milestones behind you, which I do, but I know people who are, let's say, don't have high school diplomas and things, and they're pretty smart people, and they can cut right to the bullshit, right fast, and cut through it, whether they went to university or not. They are not stupid people. So I don't like this measurement of education. Education, basically, they said, the university I went to said, we'll make you ask better questions. Well, I don't mind asking questions, that's for sure. Getting a straight answer, that's a problem. And so you have to think your way around it, because we're being manipulated. We're being monitored. In Canada, we're being monitored. In America, England, probably most of the free world is being monitored, and certainly Russia. Russia loves to monitor its own people. Russia is having war games right now in Siberia. They have 300,000 troops, like 36,000 tanks. They have some Chinese military people showing up, and people from Mongolia, plus a whole bunch of ships and aircraft like crazy. 1,000 aircraft are involved. They're having a war game in Siberia. It is the largest they have ever conducted in their history. Fantastic, isn't it? I wonder what it's all about, and what's it all for? Is it to pound your chest, and we're Russia, and we're back, and just to, if Mr. Putin is correct, Russia may get Eastern Germany back. Now, wouldn't that be fabulous, right? He got part of Ukraine back. Maybe he's going to get part of Germany now. Because Germany will be so unstable, Putin will say, well, we've made a big deal here on gas and oil, and we've got pipes running in here, and we've got to protect our interests. We've got to protect Germany, so we're going to bring all the tanks in, we're going to bring all these military people in, and we will stabilize your country for you, because you can't do it. Angela Merkel has totally destroyed her own country. The Allies couldn't do it in the Second World War, could they? They were unsuccessful. The only one I know of who ever successfully conquered Germany recently is Napoleon Bonaparte, who is, by the way, the world's greatest art thief. Hollywood would like you to think it's Adolf Hitler. It is not Adolf Hitler. It's Napoleon Bonaparte. Every country he went into, he robbed all of their museums, he robbed the mansions, he took whatever he wanted, and he carted it all back to France. And it's in the Louvre. And the people of France, the government of France says, yeah, we stole it. It's not ours. So the people of some of those countries came back and said, well, we're taking it back as national treasures. France goes, no, mais non, mais non, mais non. Have some more wine. Croissant is fresh today. Croissant au chocolat. My personal favorite. Have fun, everybody. I hope I've given you something to think about. Stay tuned. I hope everything is going to get better, of course, but this has really stirred it up to another notch. You have to admit, have we ever been here before? Not that I can think of. Toodly-doo. Have fun. I don't know if I'm going to get another hat, or perhaps someone will leave their jacket around, or a tie. I'd like another tie. If you guys are coming around again, I'm trying to collect them, actually. This is only my second one, so can you leave a tie? A bow tie, please. Thank you. Bye. Have fun. Bye.